We are live. Welcome to the Money GPS Live. Thank you all for being here. See how many people we got in the house. All right. All right. We are live. 63 people in the house. Welcome everybody. 18 likes already. Don't forget to hit that like button right down here. Okay, I'm gonna get the Instagram set up. I was a little bit late today. Janet kept me busy. Janet Yellen kept me busy. We were, keeping it fresh, keeping it real. Liking the video title. We can hear you. Good. People tell me they're not worried, and I say I'm not worried either because I'm preparing. Yep. And a lot of people, they think they're okay because they're just ignorant of the situation, and meanwhile, they're just walking right into a disaster. All right. Seeing all the people chatting between each other. That's awesome. All right. There's been a lot of comments here. I'm just trying to catch up. All right. I'm going to wait to hit the like button after being noticed. Well, you've been noticed. So hit that like button. First time. All right. Mr. K-Man is here. Mr. K-Man is in the house. Good stuff. All right. On GPS, can the energy crisis crash the bond market? Anything is really possible, but like last time around, 2008, everything following the exact same trajectory. We don't want another 2008, obviously. What we want is for things to come nice and slowly down, like a downtrend. Everything starts to slow down. And it just keeps going, orderly fashion. Will that happen? Absolutely not. Sending some warmth to Canada. I'm telling you, Canada needs it right now. Canada needs it. It is not that hot as Cayman, I'll tell you that. All right. What should we be doing to prepare? So I have talked about this numerous occasions. You could see my playlists on my channel, but a few basic things. What can you do to prepare? And I'm not talking, okay, so your financial aspect, having diversification in the assets that you own. Do you have a business that makes money online? Do you have your business, like where you work, is it reliant on the local environment? Is that local environment vibrant? Okay, all those questions you got to start asking. Next thing, what can you do to prepare in terms of real preparedness? First things first. People buy, let's say they need rice, they buy a bag of rice. Why aren't you buying massive bags of rice, buy 3, 4, 5 of them, and then keep them in a cool place that they'll stay for a long time, preserved? Same with beans and legumes and grains, starches, whatever. Anything that you can buy in bulk and store for a long period, you should be doing that for 2 reasons. Number 1, you're going to have it if something happens. And number 2 is you're locking in today's price. What's happening? Food prices are rising. But you can buy a lot of these foods and store them. Even things that can go in your freezer. Okay, if the freezer goes out, the power goes out, different story. But that potentially could be saving you over the long term. It all depends on the situation. Water is another thing. If people do water harvesting in certain areas, fantastic, because then you're in control of your water. Power is another one, whether that's geothermal power, whether that is coming through solar panels, battery storage, whatever the case may be, you want to do something. Just do something, because taking action is better than not taking action. You're never going to be able to get to your goals, life goals, personal goals, business, whatever that is, unless you make that step forward. If you're just staying put, you're going to stay right where you are, or maybe you're going to end up falling back. But if you start walking, just keep moving, you're going to eventually get there. You might get ping-ponged around, but you're going to head in that direction. That's how I live my life personally. Do you think that gold is being asked on Instagram? Do you think that gold is good to hedge against economic instability? And see, the problem is, like I always say, when all else fails, then they turn to gold. So we could actually have a period of time in which gold and silver fall further before going up. It is possible. Okay, nobody really knows, of course. What about a pallet, Tasha? Oh, of rice and beans. There you go. I was just going to ask you. A pallet of rice and beans, whatever you can reasonably store. If it's going to go bad as a result, don't do that, obviously, because you'll be wasting the money. But the more the merrier. Why not, right? I mean, if you're just going to eat that over a period of a year, year and a half, whatever that is, why not get it at today's price? What is my favorite bean? That's a hard question. I love it all. Really, I do. I really do. Did your tanker sink? I missed the ship. Yeah. I like to change it up a little, Dark winter ahead. It hurts to say, but it probably is. It probably is, and it's unfortunate. Because most people there are just entirely unaware of anything that's going on. They're just like, hey, those greedy corporations are increasing the prices. Well, there's a whole bunch. I mean, they need to watch the money GPS and figure out what's going on at least a little bit. Do you think that an investment into old episodes of Keeping Up with the Kardashians will increase in value? I think that it would, if they somehow made it into an NFT and then they could resell it for multiple millions of dollars. Because how do you make something that's garbage worth a lot? You wrap it up in a nice package and then you sell it off to investors and get some good marketing behind it. Like they did with the whole, AAA rated subprime garbage. Twinkies never go bad. Actually, that is a misconception, and they do have an expiry. Hostess or whoever makes that actually talked about this. But I see what you're saying. I'm ready to go back to Mexico. That's where the food comes anyway. Yeah, that's why I've talked so much about it. Like, for entrepreneurs, my personal opinion is that the number one thing that people can do is to take these old JCPenney Sears stores and convert them into food production facilities, growing vertical garden, growing whatever it is, all robotics and automation, and have the people able to physically come into those places. And yeah, I want 2 lettuce and I want 1 spinach, and they tap it into the screen, and the robot goes, cuts up the lettuce there, brings it right down to you, freshly cut. This is like, I know entrepreneurs can absolutely, because they're going to get the real estate space at a fraction of the price. They can automate the whole system, and you're buying local produce instead of, you're in Canada and 6 months of the year there's no growing. So you're getting all that from Mexico when you could be getting it from around the corner. say what you want about hydroponics, but I'd rather get hydroponically grown than something that's been sitting on the truck for 10 days. By the time it makes it from the farm to the truck to the grocery store shelf, finally into my fridge for another few days. Like, I'd rather go when I need it and be able to get that and see the inventory before I even get there, and all that stuff should be tracked and everything. It would be awesome. Thank you for support. Would love a comment on a clip I just put out, how to barter for silver. I would love to get monetized someday, so I don't have to get nice. So you want me to comment on this? Is that what you're asking? So I don't know. I haven't watched a video. I can check that out. But I like the idea. I can tell you that right now. Because we're moving into the time in which there's a lot of restrictions on people regardless. And with the whole cashless society and everything, it looks like they're going to try and push people outside of, like, oh, you do this or that thing, or don't do this or that thing. Well, suddenly you're going to be locked out. And so people are going to need to have alternative skills. And that might be learning how to fix cars. That might be barter, negotiation, sales skills. That might anything, whatever. The point is, we may have to look for alternatives, and taking the time to learn that now is probably a very good idea. So that's what I would say. Honey is an investment. It never goes bad. Price is increasing. Looking at vanilla bean prices. Vanilla bean is finally going down in price lately. Interesting notes. Good idea. Prepping is not an option anymore. Yep. How can any digital currency be spent if they shut down the web or parts of it? So with the whole central bank digital currency and all that, I don't know what they're planning on doing with that. Because the grid down scenarios every day seems more and more likely. But how long I don't think you need to worry about this that much, though. That's my personal opinion, is because after a few days, the world is just complete anarchy. Just complete anarchy, whether you're rich or whether you're poor. I mean, how long could it go without complete annihilation? So it's not something I worry too much about, but as an individual, I would want to be as prepared as possible. That's what I would say. Just like the whole country, the city, the state, the province, wherever you live, don't think that they're going to be able to take care of anything. I see people all the time, they're getting upset because the state is doing this with green energy and it's not doing it. Look, their agenda, you got to understand, when you submit your taxes to the government, you're funding criminality. You're literally funding their crimes. That's why it is our duty to establish businesses and figure out ways to do things that are, just for example, look at how many examples of people that have real estate businesses, they write off the depreciation among other things on the property, make a lot of money. The Kushner family did it, made a lot of money, did not pay any taxes. Okay. The point is, when you're funding that, when you fund through taxation, you're funding the NSA to spy on you. You're funding all of this stuff that people are talking about that I can't talk about on the channel. You're funding the things that get dropped on people from 30,000 feet up in the air on countries that people can't pick on, can't find on a map. If I didn't have the labels on it for these people. I mean, this is where your tax dollars get spent. And I see people all the time that are just more taxes, more this and that. Their agenda is not to help you. Their agenda is something completely different. And that's why we need to be prepared on our own. We can't rely on them. We can't trust them. And that has been documented over and over again. Thank you for support. YouTube will start asking content creators for the proof soon. No proof, no monetization. Channel will be shadow banned. I don't think so, personally. I don't think so. I don't think it'll go in that direction. But there's certainly a lot of demands coming through. I could tell you that. Prepare now. Prepare now. Gator makes great sandwiches. Anybody in Florida here? I've actually had gator before. Gator on a stick. Anybody have that? I remember it not being very appetizing. There we go. Gator tail meat is so yummy. Welcome. Right there, Florida native here, ate gator and iguana. Gotta cook it right. Never had gator yet. Not my thing, but hey, it might be might be a growing trend if food becomes difficult to come by, you know? If you're going to Mexico, I recommend Hualtoco, Oaxaca, Mexico. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff. More rosy news Dave's talking about, I suppose. Yes, always the good stuff here at the Money GPS. Susan, thank you. Thank you, Susan, for your support, your constant support. I appreciate that very much. Very much, I do. Thank you. Everybody that's in here, thank you for being here. We have 300 people in the house. Imagine 300 people here right now from all over the world. Okay, there's so many countries represented in this room, and we unify around one thing. Different than all these other channels. We are unifying around the truth. That's what I have been talking about since day one, and that's why you're coming here to this channel, because you get to find out the truth as best as I can, given the platform and given my knowledge and the fact that I make content every day. You can only go so deep, but hey, a layer or two deeper than what we get in the mainstream is certainly welcome, right? If we go too deep, then we start to fall away from, you know, reality in a sense. Not reality, but, you know, daily events and what moves and so on. We can always go down the rabbit hole, and I recommend people do that, but then come back up a little bit too. Okay, because you can always go further down the rabbit hole. We have 138 likes. Don't forget to hit that like button right there. Let me get it for you. Let me get it for you right there. All right. Awesome. Willie, hit the like. The Money GPS live stream is one of the best comment sections. Absolutely. And actually, got to give respect to the comments that I get on the regular daily videos. Amazing. Amazing. Because I'll talk about a topic like, just say, gas prices or whatever, and then people are like, yeah, I'm in New Zealand, this is the gas price here, and I mean, I can look the information up, but I have all of that stacked up, and it helps me just bring that information in. It helps everybody too, I'm sure, but not just the gas prices. If I'm talking about whatever, I don't know, whatever it might be. And then somebody will say, oh, I'm from Poland and I'm seeing this. Oh, I'm from Mexico and I'm seeing this. And you start to just realize, I'm seeing a lot of similarities, or no, it's different there and it's very different there. And you start to formulate, like start to connect all these dots. And I hope you guys check out the comments. I read all the comments. I spend a lot of time actually on that because I believe it's valuable just for my own knowledge, but at the same time out of respect. Because you took the time to comment, so I tried to take the time to at least hit the thumbs up and the heart button, at least. If I can, I try to reply to as many as I can. It takes a long time, but All right, let's see what we got on Instagram here. Self-reliance, live near a national forest. Yeah. Shortages of food coming. I do think that there will be more shortages. That's for sure. Definitely spitting the truth. 4-year follower. Nice. 4 years. Let's keep it going. I've been doing this 10 years now. 10 years. So I want to thank everybody for being here today. It's been a long time, and I'm still pushing, still trying to give out that information. So I thank you all for being here anyway. How do you deal with spam comments? I manually go through and delete the spam comments. I did it again today and yesterday. I mean, they go in waves, I find. Today and yesterday was a bad one. Every single comment they're replying to. So I report, I ban, but it doesn't go away instantly. So I think that has to go through their system, and it takes a few hours. In those few hours, they've already tricked a few people. I've had people say, I gave them money, I didn't know. It's just like, no, please don't reply to the spammer. I know that it looks exactly the same sometimes. It's really hard to tell. But I'm not going to send you a WhatsApp link. I'm not going to do that like this. I don't even have WhatsApp. So please don't be fooled. And if you in the comment section see that kind of garbage, best thing to do is reply and just say, hey, don't scammer, whatever, so that people are aware of it. Because I don't even think some people, maybe they're not tech savvy or what have you, and they get fooled into it. Okay, I'll do a WhatsApp thing. I don't know how this works, and they think they're communicating with me. People have sent me the screenshots. People from Instagram saying, hey, you sent me this message, and we were going back and forth and things. I sent you money. I said, no. What are you talking about? The person said, no, this was you. Look, it says the money GPS. And I said, no. Look at the spelling of the O. That's not an O. That's a 0. And the person just confused. They refused to believe me. The person just said, no, that was you. That was you. I said, like, I don't do this stuff. I don't do the WhatsApp thing. And they just kept pushing me that I was doing that. Anyway. Unbelievable. Do you think that the US is going to be Japan 2.0? It's going to be a little different. I do think so. I think it's going to be painful. Thank you, Crossstuff. Appreciate that. Appreciate your support. Thank you for being here. Four years here also. Awesome. Let's get a count. Can everybody just put just the number of years, or either new, if you're relatively new to the channel, put the word new, and just put the number of years. So we can get a whole spam bunch of comments going in here. 1 year, 2 year, just put 1, 2, 3, just like the number. I want to see this. 3. See what we got. Just put that number in there. Let's see what we got, guys. 3 years, 6 years, 1 year, good stuff. 2, all right, over here on Instagram, 2 years, okay. 3 years, 4. This is like an auction. Can I get a 6 year? Can I get a 7? 2 years. All right, new, okay, we got some new people, that's good. 20 years, all right, cool. Before I was here, I was posting, that's cool. 1 year, less than 1, all right. 2, 10 years. Good stuff. Less than 1 year, loving the truth. All right, 5+ years. Awesome. Good stuff, guys. All right. Oh, they're coming through fast now. Wow. So there's a bunch of people here that have been here for 1 year or less. That's great to know. Luke's been here for 5 years. Good stuff. A couple years, 2 at least. All right, good stuff, guys. Thank you for that. And look forward. Yeah, good. Awesome. 9 p.m. Friday to Sunday. Yes, I'm trying to bring that out. I appreciate you guys being here. So what I'm trying to do with the channel right now. I hope you guys are loving this, that I'm making it more concise. I'm bringing you the information. It's going to be the plans I got right now. It's going to be even tighter. I'm going to make it even tighter. So I was thinking, do I change the channel to correspond to what these other really popular YouTubers are? I watch their content, trying to learn, just not watching what they say necessarily, but trying to just figure it out. What are they doing exactly? And then I realized I don't like their content. So I'm making the Money GPS content, and I'm just going to try to provide the maximum value to my subscribers. That's it. Try to provide the max. Don't try to be like that guy. Don't try to be like this guy. Be the Money GPS and do it as best as you can. That's all I can do. I can only do the best that I can, and I'm going to just continue to tighten and tweak and fix everything, like just the one thing. And I think people overall love it that the introduction is shorter and I explain exactly what you're going to see in that particular episode, and then I give the timestamp. So if I only have 3 minutes, I only have 5 minutes, you can go to that particular section, watch that little bit, and maybe if I have time later, I'll come back and this and that. At least you get that little bit if you don't have time for the full 10, 15 minutes, okay? So I hope you guys appreciate that. You be you. Thank you. Thank you. You're the best at being you. Thank you for that. Stay original, for it is your unique perspective is what I tune in for. Thank you, Victor. I share your work, bro, but some of the sheep are just destined for the slaughterhouse. Sad but true. You're right. Unfortunately. Doing a great job. Thank you. You always have a real channel, not a silly kid doing dumb things. Yeah. Don't try to be like the Bond King because he's an idiot. I don't know about that situation, but I'll take that as a compliment. Tweaking is okay, just don't change. Yeah. Overall, I mean, the content's been the same throughout. But just in delivery, like the Money GPS insights, how I kind of stop for a moment. This is the situation, point 1, 2, 3, and it just kind of breaks up the video, like things like that, like little tweaks. That's all. Don't pump stocks. That's right. Don't sell out. That's how my industry is. All the most popular guitar music YouTube channels are pure marketing filled with terrible fake empathy. Yeah. The thing is, you get approached as a creator. I've been approached, I get a lot of garbage ones that are probably just spam, but I get so many offers, we want a 60-second placement in your videos. And I look at the product or the service and it's just, I'm like, I don't even want to click on this website. It's so it looks dangerous. So, I'm not going to put that on my channel. I mean, it's ridiculous. Go away. So that's usually the way it is. Do you think Bitcoin will decouple from the stock market if stocks crash? I don't think so. I think the first thing that happens when stocks crash is that Bitcoin crashes. Cryptos crash. That's my opinion. That's what's happened. That has happened multiple occasions. When we go to a risk-off mentality, things start coming down. Same thing could happen again if there's a mega crash. What comes up out of the ashes, we'll see. That's exactly why I watch the Money GPS. Great guy, not a sellout. Thank you. I like the improved backgrounds. I do like you being on the screen now. Thank you for that. Stay true to your cause. We love it for you, man. Thank you, guys. Everybody. Thank you. To me, it's getting better. Excellent. Best free courses. Yeah. I mean, the Amazon course, guys, you have no idea. I mean, some people are just not interested. I get it. But the value is so ridiculous that in hindsight, I should have charged $1 for it. So that people have to at least commit. So to get it for free, if somebody gets something for free, they don't value it as much as even just spending $1 because they're going to take that extra step. But anyway, that's the way it is now. The AmazonGPS.com, by the way. Robert, thank you very much for your support. Please interview Richard Hart before he forks Ethereum. He's here to spread the truth too. So I don't do much of the crypto stuff, and any content that I have brought out related to crypto is generally not received very well. So it's difficult for me to do that. You know, generally the interviews, I would say, are my worst performing videos. Mostly. So I just don't know. Like, I did several of them, and all of them performed badly, and it just told me, as the creator, saying maybe the people they don't like it, they're not interested in it. But I still plan on doing some interviews with people that just for me that I want to talk to for sure. People like Ron Paul, Mark Faber, Jim Rogers, like all of these people that have been watching for so many years, previously read books by them, and so on, just to have an opportunity to speak with them, especially because, you know, they're getting up there in age too. So it would be fantastic just to have, using my platform essentially to have an excuse to talk to them. So that's one thing. But in general, I just don't think that they were working. My plan was every single weekend to have, on the Sunday, have an interview, and I was doing it fairly consistently, and every time it was just so bad, the views. And then when the trouble with the algorithm here is, if you have one bad video, they're actually less likely to recommend the next video to subscribers and to the general audience. I mean, it's terrible. So that's just the way it is, though. Cheers. Interview with Raul Paul. I don't know if I think I might have contacted them. I contacted a bunch of people that either rejected or didn't reply at all. And I may have, pretty sure I emailed them. Now, it could be the wrong place to contact and so on. But I'm pretty sure I contacted them asking for an interview. Peter Schiff too, why not, right? I've read like 4 of Peter Schiff's books back many years ago. Haven't read one for many years, but I've read like 4 of them. I do prefer data over the interviews, for sure. For sure. Can you get Peter Schiff? George Gammon? George Gammon said no. Peter Schiff I want to try as well. Let's talk stagflation. Yeah, we should be talking stagflation, right? What does GPS stand for? Like GPS in your phone or your car. That's the Money GPS. The first book was called The Money GPS, Guiding You Through an Uncertain Economy. Strip Loin Steaks pack of 3, Costco, Toronto, up 27% since 2 months ago. Like, just think about that. When you like, think about that. 27% increase in a couple months. And then you go to the food inflation indicator and it's like 3%. And you're like, where is this person living that the inflation rate is 3%? Oh, we're going to take away food and energy from the calculation. It's real volatile. Yeah, I know. My wallet feels the volatility. Trust me. I mean, it's crazy. What are they doing? How can they get away with this? Why isn't anybody saying anything? Oh, wait a minute. We got some people right here that might be responsible, but people cheer these people on. This is disgusting. This is disgusting when I see the comments. Don't tell the Federal Reserve to stop. Don't tell the Federal. I could see like the panic. Like, no. They're foaming at the mouth. This is a criminal institution. And if anybody doesn't realize that and doesn't wake up, they are just doomed to repeat the mistakes of the previous cycles. They create a boom and they create a bust. And in that way, they do this. The people who are living it up on the way up get smacked down hard on the way down. Oh, yeah. The Federal Reserve is not going to let the stocks fall. Come on, GPS. What are you talking about? They're not going to let it fall. They're not going to let it fall. Right? They're not going to let it fall. Okay? They're not going to. Like what's the mental process somebody is going through, and they're not going to let it fall? Like, have you never read the history of this organization? Have you really never read it? You've spent all of this time doing whatever it is that you do, and you've never read about the history of the most corrupt organization on the face of the earth? Arguable, but certainly one of the most in the financial industry. Like, really spend half an hour searching them out, and you're gonna gag. Hey, been following you for the past year. Big fan. What is your view of the primary cause of the labor shortage crisis? This is my opinion, and that is the disruptions that have been caused right now, 2020, I would say. A whole bunch of people got laid off, and then they started getting unemployment. They started to realize, maybe this isn't the industry I want to work in. Maybe I don't want to bust tables anymore. Maybe I want to do something else with my life. And, time passes, and they don't know what to do at this point. They're not going to go back to the minimum wage job. They don't think it's worth it. They can't pay, and by the way, they can't pay for their bills because real estate prices, rent prices, food prices, energy prices, they've all gone up. So they're in this catch-22 type situation, and that, I think, is a big problem. But underlying all of it is the fact that there's super low interest rates and money printing, and that's creating disruptions and dislocations. Aren't you worried that they'll go after you if the channels grow as big? I mean, opposition is muted and removed from the US, and I'm sure Canada's in the same situation. They won't go. No, I don't think so, because my stuff never gets into the deep levels. It never gets into the deep levels, so I'm not concerned about that. Like, I used to go into the much deeper levels and I deleted hundreds and hundreds of videos from the channel over the years because I just went too deep. And the things were demonetized and so on, so I just deleted them, and that's what happens. Now every video is backed up on Odyssey, so if anybody wants to see them there, they're always there. Yeah, I'm not getting into the deeper levels. So 1913. Got to go back to 1913. Actually, the Federal Reserve's roots began in the Panic of 1907. And so all of the group of however many it was that set up the Fed, they kind of sat around and said, oh, we're going to help out this government. We're going to make sure that we take advantage of all of these panics. And so they eventually colluded, 1913, met up Jekyll Island, 1913. By the time the Federal Reserve, so the Federal Reserve Act was 1913, but operations began in 1914, as far as I'm aware. And ever since then, it's just been corruption. It's been terrible. Creature from Jekyll Island, absolutely. Read that book. Three or six men that opposed the Federal Reserve Bank's creation were on board the Titanic when it sank. I heard about that. I'm not sure if it's true, but that's the claim. I've heard that. The hell with the interviews. Just do a review of books or vids done by all of the controversial ideas in finance, economics. Yeah. I'm going to be doing, so all my, like I've said before, all of my books are in totes. But once that gets put into a proper space, I'm actually going to do like maybe in a live session, maybe it's most appropriate, who knows? But it will be show you some of the books that I have. Some of them can't be shown because of the topic being a little too controversial, if you will. But you know, that's the way it goes, right? They don't teach factual history because you'd be nauseous from the lies you were fed since you were born. Sometimes that's the way it is, right? Wasn't that part of the Matrix too? When Neo's in the Matrix, and I think he throws up because it's kind of like whoa, 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 like he's freaking out. Unlike you form your own opinion given all the information through what is out there, not visiting the news cycles and throwing out what is a lie and going from there. Yeah, but yeah, 100%. I just want the raw data. Let me form my own opinion in my own mind. Just give me the raw data. And then you say like, well, that's manipulated and this and that. Well, yeah, but you don't rely on one point. See, that's why if you know, for instance, somebody says the unemployment rate is 4.8%. Okay? That's their belief. 4.8%. Therefore, employment situation is good. But if I tell you, no, the unemployment situation was, let's say, 25%. Okay, it's 25%. Well, there's gray area. Okay, it's not necessarily 25, it's not necessarily 4.8. There, you know, you have to look at what is a civilian labor force participation rate, what is the unemployment rate as related as described by the U3, the U6, what's happening with the jobs numbers, like, and you start to connect 5 or 6 or 10 different factors or points, and then you, oh, okay, all right, okay, now I'm getting it. But if you just anchor to one point, I think you're going to miss out. Thank you for the support. Would breakneck inflation not be ultimately a good thing? We kill our present dollar, leave China with $7 trillion of worthless paper. So China and the US and Russia and Mexico and the UK and Canada and Australia, they're all one team. They're all on one team. Okay. So I see what you're saying. The way I see it, however, is if we destroy this system, they will usher in something even worse. This system is as bad as it gets. But what's coming next is a step worse. They're going cashless, they're going central bank digital currency, and they're going less liberty and freedom for the people. We do not want whatever they're going to offer next time. What we need is a system that offers you know, I would say the maximum amount of liberty, competition, freedom, freer markets. We need that. That's what we need, but not going to happen. All right. To what extent has the drastic increase in the M1 and M2 driven the supply chain shortage? Are there other factors, e.g. China, that have driven this? I don't think there's a direct connection in between the money supply and the supply chain shortage, personally. There are some groups that are making a killing off of what's been happening, but I think largely you connect a whole bunch of the dots. You know, for what they say, I think it accounts for more than half of what they say in terms of they don't have enough truck drivers. The ports are real busy. All this stuff that's certainly part of it. We can't deny that. There's some fishy business going on at a deeper level too, I'm sure. Tanya, thank you very much for the support. Thank you. Congress needs to audit the Fed and take them to court for fraud, then nationalize other assets among the states. You know, it's funny because they can't even get an audit to pass. Like, think about how crazy that is. You have an institution that is intentionally destroying the entire situation, and you can't even audit. Forget about ending the Fed. Let's just audit the Fed, because they know if an audit ever passed and that information became public, people would be in an uproar. If the information was ever known, it would be insane. The limited audit, remember that, the limited audit of the Fed showed that they pumped out $16 trillion and gave it out to institutions all around the world. When, who was it, Ron Paul? One of the congressmen at the time said to Ben Bernanke, tell us who you gave the money to. And he said, no. And that's it. He said, no. He literally, the people, the Congress is supposed to represent the people. We know it doesn't. It's supposed to represent the people. And they said, tell us who you gave our money to. And the criminal stands there in front of you and says, no. That should have been on the front page of every newspaper. Each of the CNBC and Bloomberg and all these different hosts should have been saying, look at what Ben Bernanke said. And that should have been spread around. But instead today they are praised for their actions and asked to fix the climate issues. What are you doing, Mr. Powell, Chair Powell, about the climate? I mean, what? It's disgusting. It's really disgusting. Refuel. All right. If freer markets and sound money isn't going to happen, then why would anyone bother with gold? Well, just look at the cultures of the East. Why do they, for thousands of years, trade gold, hand it down from one family to the next, one generation to the next? Why are they doing this? Why do you think? Why do you think that could be the case? That's what you got to start asking. Why is the US so late and reluctant to launching a digital dollar? I think my personal opinion is that they think that it undermines what they currently have. So they're saying like, oh, why do we need to create a digital central bank digital currency? Well, because the US dollar is, reigns supreme. It's so fantastic and all this stuff. That's probably what they're thinking. They're really, though, it's probably ready to go. It's probably just sitting there on the shelf and they're going to roll it out when it's needed. That's my opinion, but who knows? Vodka in the glass? No drinks for me. I think there is hope. GPS, as much as tech has enriched the rich, it's also lifting the veil. Lots more of the people are paying attention. Blockchain can decentralize when it matures. DeFi. I think there's a lot of talk around it. I'd love to see a lot of action, though. Gold will outlive the Fed. Likely. What will the likely overall effect be of the increased interest rates in 2022? So at this point, so if they're increasing interest rates, we have to imagine that inflation is much higher than where it is today. And I think that starts to sort of stamp out that inflation. That's the case. Immediately, we'll have a negative impact on particularly real estate, which is heavily reliant on the super low, ridiculous mortgage rate. It's been easy for them to own everything when they print the money to buy it, but the real value in the country is labor and manufacturing. Worker shortage is a first step in the power of the people. It's not going to, they don't, I mean, the government, for instance, doesn't care. The government doesn't care. Corporations, they're just outsourcing and they're automating. If you own a McDonald's, they can't get enough people to flip burgers. No biggie. They're just going to get Flippy the robot. Flippy the robot is going to do that. They've already replaced the cashiers in some of these places where you would normally say, "Hi, I'd like to order my, coffee or whatever." Now you go up to a screen, you punch in what you want on the screen, and somebody, a human, brings your coffee order out. But that first initial communication is now replaced by a big iPad. So that's what's happening. They're just eliminating these jobs. Like, this has vastly accelerated the current trends that were in place. There's no doubt. No doubt about it. In what scenarios do savers win? Is it a plausible scenario? If there's a prolonged deflation, then you could be good. But in general, they're going for more inflation right now. Things could change at any moment. But in general, their actions, they're printing right now. So we shouldn't be savers. We should be putting our money to work. Thank you for the support. Have you noticed that Zillow, you can search Zillow, own, move in ready, has scores of homes they're trying to sell in less than they bought? Scores of homes, really? Own, move in ready, less than they bought. I have not heard about that. Interesting note. I got to check that out. I wonder if it's it's just a bump in the road or what have you, because from what I have seen, like Phoenix, Arizona, for instance, 30% year over year. 30% in Phoenix. It's just incredible. I don't know what's happening with real estate. It's crazy. But of course, with interest rates so low, things can stay out of whack for a long time. Saw a robot bring coffee to the table and it was fast. That was shocking to see. Yeah, this is the thing, right? Right now, especially, you got people who are concerned about this or that. And so if a robot brings it over to them, they're going to be happier. They actually might like that more. There's no hair, there's no spit, there's nothing in their order. They don't have to talk to anybody. Some people may not want to communicate with other people. Chaz, how are you? That's just the way it is, right? So I think that's something to think about. They're going, whether we like it or not, they're going in that direction. What I see a lot of is the automated train services. If you have a particularly short line, let's say it's just an airport or something where it just has to bring passengers from one spot to another spot. It's the same exact thing over and over, back and forth all day long. Humans are going to be displaced from that. So you might have had an operator kind of just sitting there crossing his arms, whereas now they can just put a autonomous driver in there and get that replaced. Same with the fast food. Same with all these different things that are being put in. They're trying to do the cars. In my opinion, it doesn't seem to be working because people keep getting into serious accidents. But different story. Both my friend Slice in Phoenix and Boise doing a road trip to visit them in November. We'll report from the road. Awesome. Tell me what you see. Tell me what's going on. Spit was still in their gut. The robot got upset. The only reason I ever went out to eat was try to get the waitress's phone number. Nice. Good stuff. If Evergrande continues to default, it may take Australia with it when the dominoes start falling. There's going to be serious contagion factors. I mean, think about this. I told you about Evergrande. It was in the news like crazy. Every 5 minutes I was getting a new article coming in about it. Now, silence. Silence. What happened? Did the issue get resolved? Obviously not. So I don't know what's happening right now, but they're probably trying to keep it under wraps. They're probably trying to keep it under control, make sure that certain things don't get out to the media. Certain people don't know about what's happening. The government probably took full control over all of their operations. Just got here for the truth. Thank you, the Money GPS. Appreciate you being here. Thank you. My insider knowledge is even conservative big automotive is getting on board the automation smart agenda. Whether we like it or not, it's happening. It's happening. David, do you know the Federal Reserve Act was never ratified as required by law? So Powell is chairman of what? I've heard a lot of talk about that. I mean, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what to believe exactly, but they're in operation. It's been over 100 years. They're not stopping anytime soon. That's the fact. That's the fact, Thank you for the support. I understand the efficiency of autonomous service. However, it is another step in a sad direction society we live in. So many things push us apart. Humans are not creatures meant to live in solitude. That is true. And there is something about that social bond. I personally think that the society in general is rotten. This is my opinion. Part of that is because of the television programming that people are into. It's taught them to be garbage, and so they spit that out. At the same time, I think the family values are an issue too. People, they're just not getting the mentorship and having the right, the right family, basically, right people teaching them. You can't rely on the schools, please don't, to teach people anything. So where does it got to come from? It's got to come from the family. And today, or even, not just today, like children today, but previously, it's just rotten to the core. It just gets worse all the time. And I keep hearing, I don't watch television, but I keep hearing about new shows that are coming up, and it's just like some crazy, weird garbage that people are they're loving it. I'm binge watching this, I'm binge watching that. And, entertainment is good and all, but at how much time are you investing? You're investing your time. You can invest it in growing food. You can invest it in spending time with your friends and your family, having laughs and this and that. Or you could spend it binge watching some new show that in 6 months from now, you will not even care about what the heck that was. It's my opinion. Instagram, I'm about to cut off in 30 seconds. So as soon as that happens, I'm coming right back in. Okay, this Instagram has a 1 hour A 1 hour maximum. All right, 19 seconds. Let me cancel that right now while we're on the topic. Okay, I'll be right back. This is Instagram for you. Let me get that set up. Okay, there we go. All right. All right, good stuff. Thank you for coming on in. Thank you, thank you. Got people joining on the Instagrams. All right, I'm just seeing if there's any questions. Squid Games trend. I've heard of this show. I've never seen it, but I don't know. Whatever people are into, I mean, it's all good, but I like for me, I haven't watched television in many years. If you want to know, like if somebody, I see these videos all the time on Instagram being pushed out, like what was your key to success? So if somebody were to ask me that question, not that I'm a billionaire or something, but the number one thing, the key to my, like if I had to narrow it down, was giving up on television. Was probably my number one thing, because not watching television led me to start, doing much deeper reading and stuff, and that led me down a rabbit hole and so on. So I think that that's just my opinion anyway, but that's it. Evergrande, we talked about that a moment ago. No new information come out, but I'll bring you someone to have it. They had 30 days to grace period to pay back their bondholders, or they're going to default. They're going to default on their bondholders. We'll see. They're offshore bondholders. YouTube is TV now. Yeah, there's a lot of garbage on there too. I mean, I say TV like entertainment. Doesn't mean it's on television, like cable television. What I mean by TV is like entertaining, like sitcoms, funny stuff or whatever. People, you can just be online watching videos all day, and that's the way it is. Right now, I spend time watching related to technical analysis and trading. That's where I've been spending additional time. I'm trying to make the videos better, so I'm trying to bring an extra layer of perspective to that. So, but anyway, different story. Stocking up on wool before the winter. It's gonna be a cold one. 7-Eleven closing early due to low inventory. Interesting. Things are closing like things you never expected. I think it's going to get worse, by the way. They say that we are at the peak right now. In my video that I posted, I think it was this morning or the one before that, they said we believe that we are at the peak of the crisis for the shipping and the supply chains. I don't know. I just don't think so, because going into the end of December, I mean, it just gets worse and worse and worse and worse. Like that's normal. That things tighten up towards the end of the year, but then it starts to be relieved by the time we get to like March timeframe. So who knows? When is Evergrande? Yeah, when's their 30 days notice up? I don't remember exactly, but probably about 3 weeks. It's probably about 3 weeks, so they still have some time. What would you do if you literally just started your career and got a 40K saved up and need to travel to get things moving? So you got 40K, started your career, you need to travel. I mean, are you talking about investing? You want to know where to put $40,000 of investment? Can you confirm that? Let me know. I can answer that. I went to the corner store the other day and the shelves were so empty, very strange that they were still open. Interesting. A lot of people are saying that. A lot of people are saying store shelves are empty. Man, how can this be? How can this be? Oh, the supply chain, the supply. What? Where? What if that? Why? Where is the stuff being made on Mars? Like where? Why isn't this stuff here? It's crazy. Like the toilet paper thing. A year and a half ago, they were talking about the toilet paper shortages. Are you trying to tell me that you can't manufacture and produce and distribute toilet paper after a year and a half? What's going on? Driver shortages? I mean, I can't believe it. Not to like some, for sure that has an impact. But to make the store shelves empty? I'm not believing it. Yeah, I had 1/3 crypto, 1/3 sports car sold, and the rest in cash. This is my opinion. If you have a little bit of time in your day, I would be starting, this is my opinion, I would be starting an Amazon business. Why do I say that? Because that Amazon business can work when you don't. And you have some capital. If you've got 5 grand, you could be doing that. You don't need 40 grand. You don't need all that to start. You start with a small bit and you just take it as slow as you need to. If you want to expand the business fast, you would need more capital, but you don't need that. And I have a course. It's free. The Amazon, not drop shipping, Amazon FBA. I have an entire free course, which is ridiculous. You will not find a free course like this ever. The AmazonGPS.com. The AmazonGPS.com. Virtual goods, yeah, digital is good too, but having products like that on Amazon is fantastic. With 10K, you can buy 5 acres of land or more. With 30K, you can buy a small home or buy a camper temporarily. Yes, you can. Depends on your area, of course, but, you know. Cross stuff, thank you very much. They don't leave a lot of reserve production capacity lying around. It is true. It just seems strange because we're like more than a year into this. So unless you were trying to create a problem intentionally, well, different story. Yeah, I'm thinking land too. Land is good. Land is never going to let you down. But you got to understand what, like, do you want to multiply that money or are you just trying to keep that? Like, what are your goals and all these things? Many questions. Lots of consolidation going on in FBA. Yeah, a lot of the companies are being purchased, which is a great thing. It's actually a good thing. Economies of scale soon needed. Yeah. Ships can't unload at the ports. I mean, okay, we have LA Long Beach, most popular port. I get it. It's busy. Where are the other ports? Okay. Those are also busy. There are other ports that are not like main ports that ships should be also, if they're smaller ships, they should be going to these places as well. I'm sure they are, but not, they need to really be diverting themselves because this is going on way too long. Something has to be done. Something else, like waiting offshore for weeks is not a solution. It's not stop that. Make it happen. If you were the boss, if this was a business and you were the boss controlling all of that, would you let that happen? Would you let your inventory sit on the side of the coast for 3 weeks or whatever? Would you? I mean, you got to be crazy to let that happen. You say, I want that stuff and we're going to make a way to get it onto this land right here. We need drivers. We're going to figure it out. How are we going to get drivers right now? People say, well, we have a driver shortage because of the money that they're making. People are working, 400,000 people got hired at Amazon in 2020. They're making minimum wage. Is it better than a truck driver who makes more? I don't know. You tell me, but there was no shortage of people getting hired at Amazon, let me tell you. $15 an hour, 400,000 people got hired. And that doesn't include, maybe, I'm not sure if it includes the contract workers that are driving for Amazon. But anyway, they hired 400,000 people. $150 million payment due on Evergrande. We'll see. Next year is worse for them. Whether or not they'll survive until next year, we'll see. Don't forget to give the thumbs up button, everybody. If you're coming in, we got 412 people. Let's get that number up. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, there are restrictions. Yeah, Thrasio, I know about. So first of all, let me go back up here. Stagflation is here. That's for sure. Thrasio, yes, I do know about Thrasio. I've recommended them before. People look into that and understand, you know, when you set up a business. So if you earn income, however it is you earn income, it's so linear. I'm going to work for this much per hour, or this is my salary. I'm going to build it, and this and that. But when you set up a business like an Amazon business, you can build it and they will actually pay you 2, 3, 4 times your annual revenue today. Just think about that. They're going to pay you 2, 3, 4 times your revenue today. That is unbelievable. I'm going to imagine your boss tells you, I'm going to pay you for the next 3 years right now, and you quit. How would that sound? I think some people would take that. Maybe some people won't. Would you take 3 years and just say, yeah, I'm going to give you 3 years full salary right now, and then you can go off and do whatever you want after? That's the way it works. The regulations on the truck drivers, yeah. But it's still, hey, whatever it is, right? There's always regulations. There's always going to be things. If the right money comes around, there should be. I just find it weird. I just think there's something's going on. That's all. Thank you for the support, Antonio. When Fed coin becomes a reality, do you think they'll outlaw crypto so that everyone is forced to use their digital coin? I don't think so. That's my opinion. I believe that the central bank digital currencies will operate behind the current system. They could offer it to people directly. The thing that I have been thinking about more and more is, what if there is the call for a universal basic income, which we see all the time, right? Government's going to give you 500, government's going to give you 1,000, 2,000, whatever it is. What if they put that through the central bank digital currency? Oh, you want your free money? Here you go. Take it. Sign up to this thing. It's called the central bank digital currency. You use your phone. You can scan your phone at the store, and there you go. It's good. It's an account at the Federal Reserve. We've got it here for you. They will get millions upon millions upon millions of people to sign up for the free money every month. Money gets deposited in, you could spend that at the store. I think that's the way that they can implement it very, very easily and get people to actually sign on and adopt it. Why would they want these other cryptos? The government is literally giving me free money. And they can restrict where money goes from the fiat world into the crypto world. They can do that. But they can't really restrict what happens on the internet as much, right? They can have, they can say it's illegal, they can say you're banned and this and that, but, there are ways to sort of, circumvent all of that. But that's what I would say. We are an hour, 15 minutes in. I'm going to go for about 10 more minutes. Let's do this, guys. We had 7,200 people in the house today. Awesome. Good stuff. Long haul trucking is a rough life. They're talking about Amazon drivers being a rough life too, right? They're saying they can't go to the washroom when they have to, when they need to, kind of the same situation. And also the workers are complaining, the workers that work at the fulfillment centers are complaining about this and that. No job is particularly easy. I'm not saying it is, but hey, there's a job there for some people. I just think that there's something fishy happening. Look at the amount of vacancies that you're seeing. Like, so homes have been built at the most rapid pace ever right now. US, Canada, wherever. They haven't stopped. It's been non-stop. And more people are working in the real estate field, whether that's building residential homes and also on the commercial side too. It had been very busy, okay? Even today, you still see the skyscrapers going up all over the place. Then you have this situation where people are, there's not enough inventory. There's not enough inventory. Why? Because people move from the cities into the suburbs, into the rural areas. Okay? No new immigration whatsoever, but we have a problem with not enough homes suddenly. But the vacancy rate is actually very low. Huh. So that doesn't add up, right? Think about it. Where did the people come from? Outer space? Why aren't they actually, I mean, I can't even put the words to it. I hope you see what I'm saying. Empty shelves in Austin? I'm hearing that comment a lot, let me tell you. Rihanna or Beyonce? I don't have a comment about that. Neither are particularly interesting. 7,200 people. So on my dashboard, I get to see how many people have. So right now, let me see. Right now, currently, it shows 389 people watching, but playbacks, the amount of times the video was loaded so far is approximately 7,400. Grant Cardone. What's the big money buying single family homes? Yeah, Grant Cardone does it a little different. Grant Cardone is buying up the multifamily residences, but there's like BlackRock, Blackstone, whatever, they're buying all kinds of properties like crazy. What's up with it? I think they see the opportunity, quite frankly. They can use investor capital. I mean, the debt is cheap. Like, all of this nonsense stops when debt becomes more expensive. I want my $2 million monthly basic income so that I can get my $1 million soda pop. Yeah. That's basically what it's going to become. What are your best source for FBA product ideas? Does your course have a component like that? Yes, it does. Check it out. It's free. 100% free. I tell you places, multiple places to get ideas. Also, you're also doing live. Thanks for all the good videos. I haven't necessarily invested based on your doomsday calls, but it always kept me alert on short bias ideas. I wouldn't say that at all. There's no doomsday. I think don't confuse the stock market with the economy. Okay, very, very different thing. What's happening with the economy is that it's rotting. The economy is rotting, and it rot just like stuff that was in the back of your refrigerator for too long. It doesn't happen overnight. Okay, you leave something in there, it doesn't explode overnight. What happens? It starts getting mold on it. It starts to get a little funky, and then you move this thing away, and you realize, oh, wait a minute, that used to be whatever. Now it's a green fungus. So it doesn't happen. A rot in the economy doesn't happen like that. In the stock market, however, things turn in an instant and everything falls down because of the paper garbage that is currently being put out there. And people should be aware of the difference by now. But because of, I'm blaming it, I'm just saying it, those other YouTubers out there who use the word economy and they're talking about the stock market, the economy is doing well. The S&P is at 4,500. What? Economy is doing what? And they use it to like that, and that's just pure ignorance in my opinion, and it's confusing a lot of people. In terms of short bias, I wouldn't use the data that I have and then go from that and like short the market or what have you. I wouldn't do that either. I tell people don't short the market at all. I have a video about that. I think it's something like, should I short the stock market? The Money GPS, you can look at that up. But if you want to learn about that sort of stuff, there are many videos out there to see sort of the oscillations in the market. I've talked about it many times before, but I wouldn't give people advice. Will my Social Security be replaced by MMT basic income checks? Will every government entitlement be stopped and everyone get a 1,000 check instead? That's what they're talking about. But I don't know, because they're unsure how to roll it out successfully. So they're still in the testing phase. But I've heard stop all programs and just have the one program and everybody gets it. And so as a result, that you need much less administration. What that means is less jobs, by the way, for all those people that are punching the numbers and what have you. I agree in the sense that, yeah, having one program is better than having 10 different programs. You just give everybody the money. It's pretty easy. You don't need to qualify based on this or that. There's just very minimal things. Probably click a couple buttons. Here you go. Here's your check. So administering the whole deal would be much easier to do, in my opinion. But I don't know. They're still in the testing phase, so we'll see what happens. Every test I'm aware of is just a failure at this point. So, but they're gonna do it anyway. Doesn't matter if it fails. Any safe places to keep your wealth, to maintain your wealth? If you want to maintain your wealth, in my opinion, I would be putting that into my home. So that would be, I'm going to have a garden. I'm going to have hoop houses or greenhouses in the backyard. I'm going to try to get solar panels or geothermal. I'm going to invest basically in a place that, just imagine, I talked about this in my second book, where if you were to be able to pay off your mortgage, so you got that at zero, and now you have all these different expenses. You got your electricity. What if your electricity expenses can be reduced down significantly? You have a passive home. Passive homes use like 90% less energy. Plus you had like the solar panels, you had all this stuff. Okay, now you brought your electricity prices down significantly, and your food, you can get 50% of your food from your backyard. Okay, now my food bills are down like this. One by one, and now you can reduce the amount of actual expenses you have. And let's say it was $500 a month or something. You can do what you need to do to get that $500 in a given month. Should your situation change, you lost your job, economy's down, this and that. That's my opinion. So there's like multiple levels to it. And if I'm looking at specifically about maintaining wealth, preserving wealth, I'm going to look at it through that lens. I look at things completely different than most people, I'm sure, and the way investors look at things when they'll tell you just keep buying, buy through the dips, buy. I'm just totally taking a different look at it, and you can invest, but at the same time, having these thoughts, I think, is probably pretty wise, especially at this time. The Farmstead GPS. Next year, springtime, I am planning on doing raised bed, start to finish, materials, costs, tips, strategies, what I did well, what I failed on, and then show the progress of the growing and so on, make additional videos. So it might be, let's say, 10 video series made over whatever, several months, giving you all of that, and then it'll be in a playlist on YouTube. So check that out. Good insight. Thank you. Thank you. All right, I'm going to get out of here in a couple minutes. Let me see if there's any questions. Thank you, Peter. Thank you for the years of often ugly truth. It's a brave thing to have a less than cheery video on here. Yeah, it's true, and it gets you a lot of hate. Trust me, it gets you a lot of hate when you make videos like I do, and people are saying, you're this and you're that, and just calling me every name in the book. It's not very fun, but I feel like I have to provide what I know to everybody who's willing to listen. So that's why I thank everybody for being here, and thank everybody for the support all these years. It's been 10 years here on the channel, and I'm grateful that people are listening. So wherever you are in the world, thank you very much for your support. I appreciate it. All right. My father-in-law tells me I need to be more optimistic. Yeah, you can be optimistic. You should. You should be an optimistic person. But understanding who, like these people right here, oh, by the way, you can't you can't see on Instagram, the Federal Reserve, that is, what they're trying to do, and understand their system of control and everything. And it starts to make a lot of sense, and the reasons why we think about the things that we do. All right. I'm out of here. So I'll be back, obviously, for videos every single day. Check them out. Never miss a video. There's always new content. I never show the same stuff. It's always, the patterns might repeat. I show you the jobs number, show you the inflation, whatever, but it's always new stuff every single day. I don't, regurgitate something that I had previously. It's always new. So check that out. Next Friday, I believe, will be the next live. And if we somehow hit $2 trillion reverse repos, I will bring the reverse repo party to you. So we'll do a live on the day it goes 2 trillion. I don't think it's going to be this week. I think we still got a little while to go. But if it does, stay tuned for that. And I'll bring you the reverse repo party. Everybody, take care. And we got... All right, please enjoy coffee on me. Thank you, Anthony, or tea or whatever. I appreciate that. Thank you, thank you. Thank you very much. All right, guys. Take care, and I'll see you next time.